Like, while you were waiting for Spider-Man and Wolverine to be on the same screen, in no way, shape, or form were you also anticipating a live action Snow White movie. So when they start dumping on these actresses and shit, and the actors, I get it. It's, it's a little different when they're men and shit. But when they are women and they kind of do go to some disrespectful lengths at point, and aside from the racism, the sexism, and I don't even like throwing that title up, but when it's blatantly there, it's blatantly fucking there. And I mean, I've heard some, and if it didn't come from neurotic or geeks and gamers, it came from somebody who they allow on their platform and somebody where they have really tight ties with. But they said some of the most disrespectful shit about a complete stranger just doing their job at the end of the fucking day. Whether they state their opinion or not on the red carpets, it doesn't necessarily, it doesn't really matter to a certain extent, even if they are what can be considered attacking the fan or being critical of some work that came before. Like, I understand, you voicing your opinion, but to sit there and call these women all sorts of bitches and cunts and all this other wild shit for really no reason, for them just kind of stating their opinion on some shit. I could see if they were being disrespectful and giving their opinion, but all they were really doing was giving their opinion on some movie that came out decades ago because they're an actress in the up and coming remake of that movie. At that point, you're going way beyond the realm of scope. And the sad thing is, not one man on that panel will interrupt and say, yo, bro, chill out. Like, you really being a little bit extra than needed. Like, that, all that shit isn't required. Nah, they'll just sit there and in a way do that clap and seal routine that they criticize other democratic outlets of doing and shit. Like, I'm not Captain Save-A-Ho or anything, but at the same time, when we're talking about an actress, you something in that realm and shit, uh, there should be a certain limit on what they're allowed to say, or not what they can allow, not what they're allowed to say, but what's acceptable for their audience for them to say. As much as I hated She-Hulk, and I felt like it stained Marvel in a way that they still haven't came back from, I think it was correct in their uh, guess that this would piss off certain fans. And had some people, stood up with some kind of integrity and just like, hey, we don't hate any of you personally, but this shit that y'all are putting out is garbage, then I don't think it would have been a whole thing. But instead, these motherfuckers kind of fell into their trap and really proved their point